Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew. I'm Shane O'Brien, as always, at Action Park Studios in Beverly Hills with my boy, Scotty Upshaw.
Obes, what's happening?
Captain Connolly in the booth.
Fresh off the golf course.
This guy's a pro, man. I don't know how he does it. And with a new background, a National League setup in Dorchester or wherever this guy is.
With a victory t-shirt,
With a victory t-shirt.
And hat.
That is a basement worth getting drunk in. Broadway, Jimmy Scoops, Hayes.
Guys, it is awesome to be back. I got both my eyes now, so now we're ready to go. Handicap's back up where I want it, so now I got to get it back down, but it's winter. You got to put the weight on to take it off.
Has the new eye helped the golf game?
Well, I've gotten a couple lessons, and the lady, I think she tightened it enough that I got a nice tight draw right now, boys.
Hey, so Broadway, you really banged up your eye, huh? What? Give us the quick story. What happened to your eye? And it ain't from reading a book.
It was really the book. I've had a lazy eye since I've been in second grade, and I ignored every single doctor along the way. When I got to Boston, the doctor warned me if I don't start wearing glasses or a contact, that it'll give out. Then I read that book. Next day, I gave out.
The book broke down your eyeball after all that you've been through. Reading a book put you on the disabled list for 4 weeks.
I couldn't believe it. It's been 50 days of seeing double. And then I went in there to Mass Eye and Air, best doctors in the world, went under, woke up, and the eye was fixed.
It might just be sobriety, I think, is just making that one eye.
You're finally sober.
It's a little mixed up.
Your eyes are like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah. The eyes are like, this is unbelievable. My footwork and everything's back in the gym. Maybe I got a little quickness in me again. Who knows?
Hey, Hazy. So Hazy, to our listeners, Hazy sent a team pic to our Missin Curfew after the surgery. And I text back and up, you can attest to this. After the Monday morning when I woke up in Tahoe, I don't know if who looked worse, the picture after you have an eye surgery or the way I looked when I looked in that mirror. I was like, don't feel bad, Hazy. I look the same way right now.
Oh, that's the worst. The days when you hung titties and you just go to the rink. Uppy could hide it well. He had these unbelievable eye drops. I showed up and I looked like I got ran over by a bus.
Yeah, there was a system to looking good, Hazy. It was a little splash, little mouthwash, little splash, little Advil, or maybe a little Perk Daddy. Something to make you feel good, but.
Yeah, Hazy, listen, you're looking sharp. You're supporting the Victory Podcast. We're a team here at Action Park. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that basement there, once, I'll wait for the springtime after the winter goes away from Boston, but save me a spot beside you in that bar there. That's a nice looking bar.
Oh, yeah, I got 3 stools over there, so we got plenty of room. Cons, I'll add another one in there, too.
I love it.
So we got to give a quick shout out here. Our boy Jeff Gill had hooked us up with the private bird to Tahoe a couple weeks ago for Uppy's birthday. And we got to give another shout out to his buddy Brian Gale. His brother's a big fan of the pod, Brian Gale, who he's saying some of these sayings that we've heard from the Gale brothers. Jeff Gale is a legend, Uppy, as we know. But Brian Gale, Gilbert Gale, as we call him, I guess
he's got
a couple of good ones himself. So
the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah, and to his son, Will Gale, his buddies in Boulder, they FaceTime me all the time. They're itching for merchandise. And I'm itching to get to Boulder, maybe. So maybe we'll hand deliver those T-shirts to them. Eh?
Yeah, Will Gale's a handsome fella, and he's got some good looking babes up there.
And
they need some T-shirts, and we're gonna get him those T-shirts.
And from what I've seen from his Instagram, I guess COVID's not a real thing at Boulder because they're rocking and rolling there. So maybe we'll hand deliver those personally.
Well, yeah, we were told that if all these U.S. colleges are doing what Boulder did, they kept everyone inside for like 14 days. Couldn't go hang out in your friend's dorm. Had to keep like your dorm to 4 people or less, or you're getting suspended. Yeah. Holy fuck, we got in trouble there.
What was going on in those dorm rooms, eh? That's what he could get.
A lot of thumping.
Everyone was getting cabin fever and doing a lot of humping, eh, Broadway?
100%, especially in Boulder. That's an unbelievable place to go to school.
We actually, the lockout year, it was obviously, as you guys know, tightened season, so we couldn't find a time on the road to do our rookie party in Colorado. So I lined it up in Boulder, and we went up there, had dinner, had a night. So I have partied once in time. The Fat Daddy was in Russia.
Of course he was.
No, he's in Russia.
He was holding out.
He's holding out. I ended up getting 2 years, 10 bananas, so good for him.
Good holdout.
Guy makes good choices, doesn't he?
Yeah, so anyways, to the Gale family, we love you. Will Gale, the boys in Boulder. Merch is coming. Keep rocking. Maybe I come visit you. Broadway, I got to talk to you about golf. First of all, Updog, Big Canyon thing. Freddie Couples won our club championship on Sunday, so congrats to Freddie.
How about that, Jimmy? Freddie Couples.
How do you guys have those type of guys in your tournament?
We let Freddie play this year because he's been a member, 5 years now, I think?
Yeah.
Solid guy, always showing up, fucking throwing elbows with the boys, doesn't shake hands, always throws elbows, even before COVID. But Genuine guy, salt of the earth, goes out, shoots, I think.
You shot 68, 67, 68. How are you?
That's going to be a tough guy to beat in a tournament.
Yeah, so, and we're teaming up Thursday with them, Broadway, so we're excited. We haven't golfed with them in about a year.
Weird,
or so.
I didn't get that invite either.
There's no guests at Big Canyon
I'm
right
going to
now.
embarrass you? Is that what you think? I'm not going to embarrass
No,
you,
it's
bro. I
not
shot
an
a 50
embarrassment. No, we
today
love
on the
you,
front
Cons.
nine.
Cons, we are not allowed guests at Big Canyon. If there was guests, you would have
All
played
right.
10 rounds there
All right.
already.
All right.
So Broadway, the boys here, we got to know. We saw Kevin Hayes. We get it. The perks of playing in the NHL up dog. You actually took me to this course. He played Pine Valley. I saw on his Instagram.
Pine Valley.
Yep.
Number
He
one
got
or number two? How?
He got to.
Where was your invite? How did he do it? What did he say about it?
Well, he got to play Pine Valley and the Philly Cricket Club. So I
Nice.
think my invite it could be in my mailbox. I don't check my mailbox that often, so it's probably still in there. But I was under the knife with the eye surgery, so I wouldn't have been able to go anyway.
It could be in that dartboard box you got behind your
could
head
be
there
in
with the
there.
Broadway sign behind it. It could be in there. Check in there.
Hey, Broadway, it's with my Big Canyon invite.
Cons.
FedEx must be struggling during COVID right now.
Hey, do you know who you played with at Pine Valley? Because the Raudenbush family, the GM there, Charlie, him and his son Matt, they'd take me out when I played for the Flyers. Unbelievable kids. They live right on the course. I think there was maybe like 6 or 7 houses there. And then so we played golf with Matt Obi, me, you, and
Yeah,
Loops, and
great
Matt.
guy.
Great golfer, Callaway rep. Big fan of the
I hope
show.
he played barefoot on the back nine at Pine Valley. Barefoot.
Blisters.
Blisters
Fuck,
got him.
Surprised. But I think he played with the kid Matty Moe, whoever that is.
Matty fucking Mo.
What
I
did
don't
your
know
brother shoot? Do you know?
At Pine Valley, he shot an 82, I believe. And then Paul
Wow.
Carey was with him. Paul Carey shot a 78, I think, at Pine
Couple
Valley.
gimme putts there. I tell you.
That's legit.
100%. Kev's the king of the
yeah.
gimme putt. That's why you got to play with him.
And you maybe you fudge a hole or two. You bring
You
it
just
down
pick
to
it
an
up.
82.
That's
You
why,
can only
that's
pick
why
up
they put an
double
eraser.
max.
That's why
Double
they put an
max.
eraser on the pencil, boys. Eh?
You go from an 84, you give yourself
Couple
2 strokes.
good guy
Cons.
sixes,
That
eh?
putt-
Oops.
yeah, good guy 6 cons. That putt was good, but we'll mark that down 05. Mark that down. So, anyways, Kev, about Pine Valley cons is our boys from Big Canyon. Again, I'm going to say this, but they go every year. Todd Pickup, Danny Lane, the boys. Todd Pickup has his own bird, legend, and they stay in these cabins, and it's right on the property, hazy. Like six or I don't know how many guys fit up. You 4 or 5 in a cabin.
Yeah, no, there's 8.
Is there 8 in a cabin?
Yeah.
So you stay right there, cons. You play 36 a day. You come back, suit and tie to dinner, go to the cabins and gamble and drink all night. So it's an unbelievable place. And we've only been once, but it was so hard.
We came right from New York after a night out in
that
in
probably
West Village.
that probably didn't help either. I think I shot like 80.
Kev will be able to get us out there. He said he can get us out there. Playing for the Flyers, he's got some pretty good connections down there.
I mean, if he can't get you out there, nobody's getting you out there.
Yeah, I mean, tell them we're
Right? Him
you
and
know,
Nick Foles, right? Outside of that, nobody's getting
Big
you out
Dick
there.
Nick.
Big Dick Nick
He
had a
does got
tough,
a wrench on him,
tough
doesn't
Sunday
he?
night football there with Aaron Donald coming at him. But anyways, we're gonna move into some hockey. It's the quiet time, as we all know. It's kind of calmed down here, but one of the big thing, boys, and I know Con's a big Halloween guy too, and for a guy like myself who played on,
Are you
You're a
calling?
big
Am I a big Halloween guy?
I mean, you rock the
I don't know that
Well,
I'm
what's your
any more of a
costume?
Halloween guy than anybody else. I wouldn't call myself a big Halloween guy. I'm a Halloween.
You dress up every year. You go to Halloween parties in LA. Have you not? How many?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit in the house. Yeah, I go. I've been to a couple
Okay,
Halloween
let me
parties.
ask you a question. How many parties pre-COVID on Halloween would you average a year in Hollywood?
When I was in my prime,
Yeah.
I would average a Friday and a Saturday night back to back. So I would go back to back.
That's okay.
What was
so-
your go-to
Are these-
costume? I want to
Well,
know
you
that.
always, that's the crazy thing about Halloween in Hollywood. Like, you got to have 2 costumes because God forbid you wore the same costume. So I always was Gilligan one night. Depending on whatever night it was going to be the big one. And then I would try to get a little creative for night number 2. But you got to have 2 costumes. It's hard enough to have 1 costume. You have 2 costumes.
Yeah, it's a-
I'm not mad at sitting this year out.
Cons, are these parties at nightclubs or are these parties up in the hills like where I ran into Obi and Uppy one summer?
Well, the big one, it's funny. That was where I met Teddy Purcell. I met him at the Casamigos party, and he was an M&M, which was an awkward exchange. And he had
didn't
those
melt in your
weird
hands,
hands
though, did
on. He had those weird hands on.
I tried everything to get in that Melbourne Halloween party, hazy, over the years. Like I just couldn't get in there.
You
fella.
never called the captain. I
you
would
know
have
what?
walked you right in there.
I gotta be honest. I
I
think
would have walked you in there quicker than Kevin Hayes into Pine Valley.
I think I said,
You got to
Collins,
know a guy, Obes.
You got to know a guy. So the Halloween parties, for me, from a hockey standpoint, it was always good. You know, you're on a new team. The boys get dressed up. The wives show up. You get to eye up, who's got the good-looking wives and which wives really get to enjoy it. So, Uppy, before I turn over to you, the best Halloween party I ever went to was during the lockout at the Playboy Mansion. Me and Loops went up there. I dressed as a boxer. I think Loops was one of those Chippendale
That's a
dancers.
good team party.
Yeah, great team party.
Say, I doubt Loops goes all out. I don't feel like he does the bare minimum.
He just looks good. He doesn't say much. His hair is looking
Chippendale.
perfect.
Like he throws on the Tom Cruise jumpsuit from Top Gun and calls it a day.
He has done that. So I show up to this Halloween party at the mansion, and I did everything to get me and Loops in. I think I hit Cons up, Steve Kotlowitz. We get in. I show up. Stoley has 12 former kings in the fucking Playboy Mansion. I'm like, Stoley, besides you, who the only guy to get 12 guys in the mansion? He's like, Hugh. I'm like, Hugh Hefner's the only other guy to get fucking 12 guys in. So Halloween parties are always great. Uppy, I know you used to rock and roll, so touch on the Halloween parties back in the day.
It's at the start of the year, you always mark off when the Halloween party's going to be. Sometimes
you mark off a bunch of shit, Uppy.
You have to.
Uppy's got everything.
Besides the games.
Listen. You're part of the leadership group, right? I don't wear a letter, but I'm the off-ice captain usually. So, Cons, same as you, baby. But basically, you go into the coach's office and you mark off the rookie party and the fucking Halloween party. But the Halloween party could be 2-3 weeks before Halloween, maybe a week after, depending on your schedule. So Obi hit it perfect, though. It was a chance for all the new guys to come in. You get to see how they party. You get to see how funny they are with their costume. You get to see all the wives looking good, new girlfriends, whatever. But one thing I always liked was, parties were usually thrown at the captain's house. Ed Jovanovski threw some great parties. In Phoenix, he threw some great parties. You'd have a couple of neighborhood wives come over. They were always looking good, too. Little competition. But basically, I always like to see the way the wives would act when there were single girls brought to the party. And Hazy,
that's a good one.
Hazy, you were there
firsthand.
You witnessed
The wives
you
hated
witnessed
it.
me throw a party. I was assistant captain of Florida. Had a nice condo, but in the condo, I had a nice fucking meeting lounge that I just took over. Pool tables, big screen TVs. I brought DJ booth in. I brought a DJ and the DJ booth in.
Yeah, you did it up National League style.
Willie Mitchell and his wife, Megs.
Love Mitchie.
Yeah.
Love Megs.
So they came over. We decorated this whole thing all day long. Fucking, we have Draculas hanging down, ghosts everywhere. And Mitchie's like, buddy, you got to bring some single broads to this party. So our young guys who are single will fucking stick around and have fun. And that's the biggest thing at our parties.
By the way, fair enough.
Totally, Cons. So I'm like, Mitchie, you wait and see what I fucking pull here. And Hazy, I'll let you take it from here because you remember this firsthand. Your girlfriend was there.
Oh, she was there, and I think every girl's mouth dropped when these 6 Dolphin cheerleaders coming in. I'm telling you, these girls are just dialed in, nice and tight, looking like National League cheerleaders. And they came in. What were they dressed
They
as?
were little kittens,
like
kittens and
mouses,
mouses.
kittens?
Yeah, kittens and mouses.
It was so they were dialed in. They just basically were wearing bras and a thong.
So best part of this, Obes, is at the River House where I was living. My boy JD, we'll throw him a shout out. Me and him used to dial up those parties all the time.
He was a
JD,
beauty.
Big
He's a
fan of
beauty,
the pod.
yeah.
So Gerard Gallant, Turk, he's our coach. He's living in our condo, him and his wife. And I text him. I go, Turk, hey, Mitchie and I are decorating this party here. Come up for a beer. All the boys will be here around 10. Why don't you come up and watch the football game and fucking have a beer with the boys? So he's like,
go home.
He goes,
Maybe pop a Cialis
he
before
goes, Uppy, I'll wait till the wife goes down. I'll come up for a beer. So
Veteran.
Sure as shit, fucking in walks Turk, and everyone's having fun. DJ's fucking playing. So I grab the fucking 6 babes and I go, hey, go say hi to my coach right there. And, go up to the bar there.
Try to get on the power play.
And sure enough, Turk to this day is like, Uppy, that fucking episode you pulled, sending those babes over was one of the fucking best things ever at a team party I've had done, which is, that's a big honor.
I got to say, too, I think obviously outside of hockey, if you're having a party, your girlfriend / wife has to be understanding to that to a certain point. There are going to be some single guys. Yeah, we have to invite some single girls. The same way, if it were a bunch of girls, well, no, you don't invite guys, but you know what I'm saying.
No more dudes.
No more dudes. I'm
to-
saying I think it's reasonable, and it could maybe be a red flag if you're dating a girl that doesn't want to see other girls around.
So I was never in the upshot category. I didn't bring 6 Dolphin cheerleaders to parties, but I would bring 1 girl to the party, right? Or whatever.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2 if I was lucky. If I was in Vancouver, it might have been 2. But anyways, before we went in the party, I would warn her. I said, listen, You're about to walk into the hen house here.
vultures.
You're about to walk into the hen house here.
Just head down.
Just be professional.
Be professional.
Hang in there because these wives are going to be motherfucking you up and down when you walk
You're
in this
going to get
party.
some looks.
You're going to get like, who's
Kill
this
them with
girl?
kindness.
Kill him with
Totally.
kindness. That's why.
Smile.
But Hazy, touch on that Halloween party that you were at with Uppy.
Oh, that Uppy, you honestly, like you said, that party was unbelievable. You walked in, you felt like you were walking into a haunted house. Like the thing was just all dialed in. You got the DJ going, and then of course he has these 6 rocket girls walk in with him, and then the wives and stuff. But everyone had a blast. Like it was like you said, it's like a team building type of environment, and guys were just getting to know each other, and everyone had a really good time. Every time I've been to a Halloween party, no matter if it was in Boston or New Jersey, it was always one of the funnest nights of the year.
And now the $1 million question. In this specific party, what were you, Uppy, and what were you, Broadway?
I think I was a fucking Miami Dolphin player.
You were
I was Ray Finkel. I was Finkel.
He
Yeah,
was
I
a fucking
Finkel.
horny hockey player. Is what he was.
Fitzpatrick?
He was a horny hockey player.
I was Fred Flintstone that year.
That's
and
a
then,
good one.
My girl was Bam Bam. But
Nice.
it wasn't the most creative, but
I did a Fred
they
Flintstone.
got it going.
And would you judge a teammate based on their costume? Like, this guy went a little too far or didn't go far enough, or is all bets are off?
Yeah. So for me, what I was going to say from the player's perspective and a team building, a lot of these guys, especially throughout my career, Cons, it was the European guys that, maybe they come in, they don't really say much, and this is their time to dress up. And some of these guys would blow me away, like with the personality and their costumes, and you finally get to know them. And a lot of the teams I played on, Cons, we kind of strived after the Halloween party. Like the next morning you go in, you talk about the costume. And as you know, Cons, it's like anything. You just need something to break the ice. And the Halloween party always did that for me. And I got to know guys a lot better through their costume.
I think I strived on every team I had after we had good parties.
Yeah,
which should have been every fucking other weekend after a big Saturday night win.
But did you ever look at a teammate and go, look, yeah, whatever, I know you're new to the team, but you missed the fucking mark with the costume this year. You didn't do enough or you did too much. It's all about your attitude, right?
I think, you know what? Rob Bertuzzo, one of my boys,
Bobo.
he always put in like, not a huge valiant effort to be like.
Enough to get by.
But just a perfect costume. And him and Schwartzy one year came as the criminals in Home Alone.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
Marv
with their
was his
hair.
name
when
Marv.
and they
That's
came
tough to pull
Marvin
off.
Harris.
They were called the
came-
Wet Bandits, Broadway.
Oh,
They
the
fucking
sticky
stuck
bandits.
the sticky bandits.
Oh, Wet Bandits was what it was.
Yeah.
They stuck their head through the fucking front door, both of them. One Schwartzy, who was super low, and fucking Bobo up top.
Yeah.
And that picture alone is just it made everyone's night, right? So it's like those moments for teammates, Cons. It sets up such a good fucking vibe going into the season. It's a great time.
Like, I could see Tavares, like, dogging it for his Halloween costume, you know?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I never won. Yeah, I agree with you, Cons. I would have never
He
won
throws
best
on
costume.
the Top Gun jumper, and he fucking puts on a pair of sunglasses and calls it
I
a
would
day.
agree with that. And there's been a lot of chatter lately, Cons, I want to talk to you about the Tavares Hedman pick back in the day. There's been a lot of chatter on the stuff I've been doing that the Islanders made a mistake with that pick. The
I thought they didn't make a mistake. They had to take Tavares because of where the franchise was. But in
Okay.
hindsight, of course, Hedman's the best defenseman on the planet, period.
Cons, I think you were right on that, though. The guys that didn't give the most effort, they were getting chirped the next day.
Really?
You got to
Right.
give some sort of effort. And I remember Corey Schneider and his wife, Jill, they went over the top one year. It was unbelievable. They did the Night King from Game of Thrones. It was an unbelievable costume. They did the whole makeup. He actually looked legitimately like the Night King.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. You can't go too far. Listen, I was impressed when I saw Teddy Purcell and his buddy is an M&M. I couldn't believe it.
Ray Whitney and his wife Bridget, could they pull off costumes year after year in Phoenix? And I mean, they were just. If you look at Ray Whitney's career, he played 20 years. I think Hall of Fame
Wizard,
a Hall of Fame guy. He would.
Hall of Famer.
Fuck, he's got over 1,000 fucking points.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway,
no, it's
Let's
he
not
won
put
a
him in the
cup.
hall yet. Let's not put him in the hall.
Fuck, he's off ice Hall of Fame for me.
sure.
Anyway, him and his wife, they've been a couple, in the National League as long as he played, right? They were together since they were kids. They've been to these parties. They know how to make the young guys fucking, hang out and get some single girls, that vibe, that whole thing, bring the team together. And fuck, they could pull off costumes. The one year they were those green army guys with the platforms, but like before
are
everyone was
unbelievable.
doing it, like full makeup, full platforms. And then another year he came in, he was like this old guy. that had like these just massive saggy balls, and he was like going to the rub and tug, and his girl was like the fucking Japanese masseuse. It was priceless. I mean, you can't make that shit.
I
up.
mean, veteran guys like that will go the extra mile to make the party better, and it brings teams together. And I know you guys are big believers in this, but that stuff goes a long way the course of a season. If it can bring your team a little bit closer together. I remember the one year I took a little heat in Colorado, boys. We were supposed to go as a Ghostbusters. Me, Daniel Winnick, the windbag, I like to call him.
Yeah,
the Factor.
Wikipedia.
And in my defense, my costume wouldn't fit. It was a little short and a little uncomfortable, and I couldn't take a piss. I'm like, fuck that.
Wait, for which one? What costume?
So I bailed in Colorado. I was supposed to be a Ghostbuster with the windbag and the Factor. Cons, long story short, it was a little short, a little tight, nowhere to take a piss. I bailed. So I went as a leather jacket. I went almost like David Duchovny style. Leather jacket, black eye, bloody nose. And they're like, well, what are you, Obes? I'm like, I'm
Moody.
I'm Hank Moody. And they're like,
Californication.
you could go as that every weekend. That's what it costs you.
Yeah, but you don't. The worst thing.
Fuck, that's
the worst
true.
thing that can.
That's
the
true.
worst mistake you can make on Halloween, and it's always my biggest fear is when somebody goes, "What are you?"
Yeah.
Which you don't ever ask anybody that.
No,
Even if you don't know what
common
they are.
courtesy,
don't put
don't
them on the
ask
spot
that.
like that. Put them on the spot like that.
I did the one time I went with our boy Big Sexy in New York. We went as the Big Lebowski. He went as a dude, and I went as John Goodman's character. Someone help me out. What's his name?
John Goodman.
No, what's his character in the Big
I
Lebowski?
don't
Walter?
Walter.
And I come out of the hotel I'm staying at, and the valet guy's like, hey, you're Walter from the Big Lebowski. I'm like, nailed it. I didn't know if that was a compliment, Hazy, or a fucking insult, but I got it.
Oh,
anyways.
that's a compliment. My brother and Keith Yandel one year, he told me they got dressed up as like the Seekers, and they got to the party early, and they stood out there asking for autographs, and guys were just bullshit. Like, figure how the fuck do you guys know where this party is? He said it was unbelievable. They got a couple guys with the autographs and shit.
That's a great idea. So, anyways, Halloween. God, I miss those parties up, dog.
Well, you're sitting out 1 year. We're sitting out 1 year.
Yeah, no, I mean, from back when you're playing and, the season's going on and things are going well and you go to the Halloween party, it's always a good time. So, moving along to our last little thing here before we get our all-time beauty guest in is we were lucky enough to have Ryan GETZLAF on last week. Getsy came in here. Cons gave him my chair. He absolutely killed it.
God, you're devastated about
They
that
ain't letting
chair.
that one
Crushed.
down, Cons.
I don't know if I'm more crushed about when you cut me out of Entourage or when you gave Getsy my chair.
Listen, buddy,
I'm not sure.
That is the guest. That is the guest chair. When
Cons,
you
I
bring
still
on a
I
guest-
still love you.
Still, all right. You know what? We stick Getsy up against.
Lupul didn't get that chair.
I mean,
Maybe that's
listen.
Oh, I
right.
forgot about that. No, but you could argue that Lupul is a recurring guest star.
Yeah, I know. I'm just Cons. I got to be a big boy and suck it up, but it's been a
I mean,
linger with
a
me.
lot worse people you could have got bumped for.
True. So Hazy, we have these guys out there, Uppy, as you know, that are doing these Missin Curfew clips for us. They're great guys. They're doing some really cool things for us.
Shout out to them. Follow them.
Follow them. Missin Curfew clips. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
those clips have been awesome.
Hazy, they put a clip of you absolutely bundying someone against Detroit. Who was that guy that hit?
Oh, that was the kid Anderson. That was
Fuck.
awesome.
That's how you play the
That's
game.
how you get the puck out. That's just I saw him coming. I just put my 235 pounds into that kid.
That's how it's done.
I got to say, too, about Ryan GETZLAF, because we got to ask you a question in a second about GETZLAF Broadway. But I was really impressed with this guy. I didn't know he was that. I don't want to sound weird, but I didn't realize he was that cool. He's super down to earth. He was funny. He was personable. I don't know. I didn't have him pegged that way. Like, he really felt like one of the guys. I was impressed. And besides Shaq, I'm going to call him number 2 in the guest chair in the history of Action Park Media. What do you think of that?
That makes me.
He's my
that
favorite
makes me
player.
feel a little,
Cons. Huge
that makes me
compliment.
feel a little better about losing my chair to him then if he's number 2 in
They
Action
both got the
Park
same
Media.
hairdo, too.
But Cons, on a serious note, the one thing that you said from that interview, and I've always said this to Getsy, when you said he could be a GM, you sense that just talking to him, and
got
that's
that
one
vibe.
thing. Yeah, he's got that vibe, and that's one thing. Uppy, I know you've talked to him about it too.
He's had it forever, too.
Yeah, he has that vibe.
He was never in danger of sticking his foot in his mouth. He just was almost a few steps ahead of everything that we were going to say. And we drank 4 bottles of wine, feeling nice and fuzzy. And he never buckled. I mean, he was never even in trouble.
Even when he knows how, caught back in time the Anaheim Ducks, their whole organization.
Oh, he
with
could
their
have, right.
with their media.
They wouldn't even
with
do a
their-
swipe up
with their
for us.
GM. Wouldn't give us a swipe up. We got their captain on, pumping their tires, pumping Anaheim's tires for their pickups, their Shattenkirks, their
Yeah.
draft picks. Give us a swipe
Did you
up.
guys get denied on a swipe up?
We got denied on a swipe up. Come on.
That's bullshit.
The picture surfaced, Broadway, of you doing the ceremonial face-off with GETZLAF, and we want to know
We
where
got it.
the other guys in the lineup
We
were.
got to know. I got to know where Big Z was.
they all have COVID?
Bergeron,
They all had COVID.
Marshawn, was there COVID in Boston back in the day? Because this pick is unbelievable. It's Getzy and Broadway Jimmy Scoop Hayes. How did it unfold? And you got to get that in your man cave down there because it's a sick pick.
I went to shower before the game and I was like, I don't think I'm going to get a shift against this guy tonight. So give me the opening face off. And but he was, that was the night Jerry York was, just got inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
He's a
And I
coach at
played for him
Boston College, right?
Yeah, he coached me at Boston College and I was the only guy on the team that played for Boston College. So they let me fly out there and I was just fired up because GETZLAF is my favorite player in the entire league. I use the exact same stick as him. And I'm a big fanboy when it comes to GETZLAF.
Who was your coach, or who let you do that?
In Boston?
Was it the players or was it the coach? Was it Z? Like who let you go out and take that face off? You said they let you.
It was like the front office media guys. They wanted me to do it. They told Char before the game. Then everyone was cool with it.
That's
So
awesome.
you use the same GETZLAF stick the way I use the same McDavid stick.
Well,
Oh,
mine
that's a
is
zinger.
actually,
That's a zinger, Hazy.
No, mine is actually GETZLAF stick. I was healthy scratched in New Jersey, and I called down to Frosty and said, Frosty, I need that guy's stick because I want to play just like this guy, minus the fighting, scoring, and passing.
And
Jimmy,
making $100 million.
You know what's funny, Jimmy? You just touched on it. So many guys your age in our league. I say your age. Maybe early '90s birthdays. Love the way fucking Ryan Getzlaf has played the game. They admire him to the point they fucking use their stick. They all want to use the stick. The way he plays. Obi, you touch on it too with him. Fucking, you guy needs to drop the gloves and get the boys going. Getsy does it.
Last question about GETZLAF. Does he, and I know you wanted to talk about the Blackhawks and the rebuilding.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Does GETZLAF retire a Duck? Or does he look to get out and do what Corey Perry did? I mean, does he... Oh, he's like a guy you almost one of those guys that it would feel weird to see him in another jersey. Not saying that he shouldn't. Tom Brady's a Buccaneer, but what do you think?
I agree. I think for the first time, and listen, this is just from golf with him and being his buddy for a long time. I think it's something he would consider now. I know his wife's a California girl. She's kind of looking to maybe relocate. So there's a chance he is, but I know that he wants to finish a career as a Duck because not many guys play in one organization.
Right.
He brings up Steve Eisman all the time. Like that's
Jeter.
the guy Jeter that he looked up to. So I think it could happen, but
Especially after they didn't give us a swipe up.
yeah, fucking would a swipe up kill you? Ducks organization had a Gordie hat trick for you one night.
It means a lot, though it does mean a lot to him that he's been the captain at a young age where, he went in with Saku Koivu, sat at the GM's, sat with him and Timu and talked about who was going to take this organization to the next level, and that was him at a young age. So a guy like that, he has pride on his side. He has a whole community here that he's worked with forever. 10 years of the Cure Duchesne golf tournament.
Yeah,
like we
he's
said.
classy.
And
legend.
also too, as long as he's there, it's a place to look at. If you're a free agent or something, with him there, you go, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that one piece, which is why it would be weird if Kane or Taves wasn't on the Blackhawks. It's
Yeah.
up there, man. It's up there with Gretzky in a different uniform, even more so because Gretzky moved to LA. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, Cons. And just moving back to the ceremonial face-off, and this is going to bring out my inner meathead here. I would always say to the boys, especially on the road,
Snap it back. Snap it back.
Like how Cons, how the guys got to go in and just let the home team win it. I said,
Hey,
boys,
I've done it. I've
listen,
dropped the puck.
All right, listen. I
I've
said
done
we're going in the Saddle Dome on a Saturday night. Who was our captain? Well, Luongo. So Mitchell took it. I said, Mitchie, fucking win this one. Set the tone early. No visiting team has ever won that draw back, have they, Hazy? Like that would stir the pot and get the game going right away.
It also might be weird.
I'm 1-0 against GETZLAF and faceoffs.
It's
I would fucking hit the deck laughing.
Imagine how fired up there'd be a fight in the first
I'd
shift
love
back
it
in the
so
day.
That's like wildly disrespectful,
It's
right?
it's extremely disrespectful. But if it's like back in Vancouver Pacific Division battle, fuck it. Let's set
What
the
if
tone
you
right
just
away.
didn't put your meathead out to take the draw and he fucking cross checks the guy and snaps it back?
I would yell from the bench as a road team, "Win it, Mitchie, win it!" But
Every time.
I just thought it would be funny to see one time. So, anyways, we got a great guest coming up, a friend of ours. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Missin Curfew here at Action Park Media. Up, dog.
We got a guest on
We
now,
got a
don't
guest coming in here. We all play with him. 2-time Stanley Cup champ. beat me out 2 years in a row in the second round. Absolutely abused the Twins. Got to play with them. Dave Bolland. Bolly, welcome to Missin Curfew, fella.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much. We're happy to have you. You were high on our list of guys we want on here right away. I know we only had a short time together in Florida, but fuck, it felt like a couple years after all the parties we got to do together.
Well, fuck all those battles in Vancouver. I think we became good buddies after that, right?
It's funny though how often you throughout your career you battle with a guy so much, and then you get a chance to play with him, or you meet him in a bar, or at a concert, at a baseball fucking game, and all of a sudden you're best buds, and you got all the same fucking things to talk about and same bad habits. Bully's one of them.
We had a lot in common, Bully.
So, I think we do.
So you're here with Cons. Cons, say what's up.
What's up, Bolland? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Kev? How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just keeping these animals reined in. They're
It's
horses in the stable. They're kicking. They're trying to get out.
Yeah, it's tough keeping them in. Hey, I've been around them in Miami, and it's tough keeping them all together.
What
it's
is
always
great?
the best to be able to play with Uppy and Bolland. They got to show a young Broadway how to do South Beach the right way.
We had some good times. All I remember is me going back to Boca and a text being like, "Hey, meet at Uppy's. The van's leaving in an hour."
Cons, we had the Sprinter van.
The Sprinter
van started in Miami. So a guy in my building, super cool guy, used to let me fucking take his Sprinter van whenever we needed it to go out to our boy Diego would drive, and fuck it would be, hey, 7:30 at the crib. We're taking the fucking Sprinter down. And then just so happened that summer I told Loops before Coachella, I'm like, by the way, I've been taking these Sprinter vans, the fucking Mercedes buses with the nice seats and TVs down in Miami. We got to buy one. So then we bought the one for Coachella. We had it fucking ever since.
And then it broke down and you sold it.
Well, after the Leafs rookie party in there, it broke down.
Uppy, I was there with you when you were buying that Sprinter van. I remember you sitting there looking at me being like, Hazy, this thing's 140 grand. Should I buy it? I think me and Loops are going to split at 77, and then we're going to have Obi pay the insurance on it.
I always took care of
those things go for 140,000.
Well, the one they got.
It was worth every penny up, dog.
The one we're in now today, the one we're in today is probably $200, I'd say, maybe more.
Craig Manchester gave us a Sprinter van shout out. So, Bully, before we dive into all the fun stuff we're going to get into, I just want to ask you about the Blackhawks. I think Bowman came out with a comment saying they're doing an official rebuild. There's been some rumors now about, Taves and Kane maybe wanting to go their separate ways. As a guy who won 2 Stanley Cups with them, was a big part of that organization, still is. Do you think those guys would ever leave, Bully? Just your honest opinion, or how do you think it's going to move forward for the Hawks?
I don't think they're going to move. You know what? Like they signed those deals for 10.5. Who's going to take on 10.5 million, right? Like those are some big deals to take on. That's tough. But hey, they got 3 cups. I think it's. I got 2 of them.
You sure fucking did.
You just gotta be happy. You gotta be happy. You know what? Like they're tough to come upon. You gotta work hard for them, and fuck, it's one of those things. But I don't think Kane or Taves will ever move. They've got a great situation there in Chicago, and with the letter coming out, hey, like I think management has to do their job, and players got to do their job, right? So it's just one of those things.
I don't care how much Patty Kane would cost to have on my team. I would stroke that guy off and pay him all the money in the world he wants to have him on my squad, fucking running a power play or coming up the ice with the puck or just basically being on the ice with skates on. That guy is so fucking good. I don't care. He's going to be good for another fucking 3-4 years.
And he's going to sell tickets, right?
He's dangerous.
Yeah, like he's still good. People are going to come to watch Patty Kane play. So I think, and boy, I'll get your opinion on it. I know the restart it's different, but I don't think the Hawks are that far away. I watched them play. Their assistant coach, Sheldon Brookbank, I don't know if you play with him or not. He's a great guy. Do you think the Hawks are that far away there?
Oh, I don't think they're far away. They're still there. They still got Dunks. They still got Kane or Taves, Sieves. They still got a handful of the core group there. And like I played with Brookie. I won a cup. Brookie was with me, I think, during the 23rd.
Yeah, that's right.
2013 team. And Brookie's a great guy, and I love Brookie. He's one of the best teammates ever. But yeah, they're not far off. They're still there. Like I think if they find a young goalie that can step in there quick, and you just throw a few positions in, your few guys, they're easily right back in it.
Bolly, were you shocked when they let Crawford just walk? I couldn't believe that they let that guy go.
Yeah, I know. Like it's tough. Like you kind of want to please everybody, but you can't please everybody, right? Like, hey, I wish I could have stayed there. I wanted a third cup too, but they sent me to Toronto, and it like shit happens. I think we all know that. Like we all played the game, all of us. Nothing's perfect unless you're Patrick Kane or Jonathan Toews or Duncan Keith. But yeah, no, 100%. Like, it's tough. It's tough to see Crow go. He was a great part to that organization, and he was one of the top guys there for that 2013 and their 2015 run. So it is tough to see him go.
I think the word rebuild scares people. I know that he used, I don't know, did he use the word rebuild in the letter? But either way, it's not a rebuild when you have 4 of those core guys like that. You build around them. You're a couple of players away. Like Bolland said, I think the word, like I said, the word is a word that makes people uncomfortable, but it's not that.
Yeah, I would just say, and Bull, you would know better than me, those two guys are so used to winning, and I don't know, I mean, I know they're making 10.5, but maybe losing night in, night out. But I agree, I don't think they're that far away, and Con's rebuild does scare fans.
Yeah, I think Collington came out and said that it's just basically trying to itch, trying to play games and try to itch out a W, knowing that you probably can't compete with these guys skill for skill. And then trying to catch, I think his term was trying to catch lightning in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't have that attitude. But I think it can be better approached with an internal conversation with the guys rather than like publicly coming out saying, fans, this is what's happening. I think it's like, hey guys, listen, we got to give these young guys, an opportunity to play. We need you guys here to help them. But we still think we can be competitive, but it might be a bad year. That's kind of the internal.
Doesn't have to be a bad year though.
But you gotta step it up. You're not at the cap. Are they at the cap?
I don't know.
They are at the cap. Well, then they're fucked.
You know what, Bully, they need to get the fans back on the Madhouse in Madison, because when that place used to get fucking rocking, look out.
Hey, whenever that national anthem started, I still get goosebumps to this day, just sitting there and getting ready. When Vancouver, when you guys came into town, like, it was fucking gloves off. Like, we were just we got so pumped.
I used to get a Woody every time that would happen. Seriously, I was called half chub for a reason, but fuck, full-fledged.
Bully, Uppy always has a half chub going, eh?
Full-fledged.
Oh, I couldn't. Whenever I seen him in the shower, I was like, man, just.
Bully, you're like, Uppy, you just got out of the cold tub. How do you have a fucking half chub going?
It's possible, boys. I don't know.
So, Bully, you mentioned when you got traded to Toronto, and maybe the 2 happiest guys when that trade happened were the Sedins. And listen, I love the Sedins. I think the send-off
That's
thing,
who you were talking about when you said he beat up on the Twins, right?
He beat up on the
didn't
Twins.
know that. That's hilarious.
And I love these 2 guys, and they got a great send-off for their career. But Bully, now that we're buddies and we're not competing, just walk me through how much you took pride in throwing those guys off in those 2 playoff series.
No, 100%. And hey, I respect them as players. Like, I respect everybody when we play. But fuck, you guys know when we play against each other, we all want to win. You want to win hockey. You want to win the Stanley Cup. You're out there to win, and that's your job. I respect them. They were great players. They were great people. I've heard a lot of good things from you about them. And but once we started playing you guys, and I was getting in that role of being that shutdown third line guy. He was like, okay, every game we came in with a game plan. So whenever it was Vancouver, it was the Sedin Twins. He's like, hey, whenever they go on, you go on. So fuck, if Taser was on, Taser would get off, so I can get on. Or every time, we just knew.
Bolly, at what point in your career did you realize being just a son of a bitch and a prick was it was going to be your role? Because I saw you bring me back a little bit. I hate interviewing a guy, but fuck, you played the role so good. You played lacrosse as a kid, I know that. But at what point were you like, you know what? I'm so badass and effective when I can just get under these guys.
That's why you slashed me all the time. You played fucking lacrosse.
Was it lacrosse?
I just knew where to put the stick.
I was just gonna ask you, where did it come from? Did it come from your days of fucking? Did you see someone do it and you're like, this is gonna be my role? I gotta be this guy right now, because you are a winner. You are a winner, but
no. To be honest, it was when I was playing minor hockey and junior. I was putting up points. I was never that kind of guy in that third line role. Yeah, so
130 points one season.
Yeah, so playing in London there, we would get on for 2-minute shifts, PP, and it'd be me, Dylan Hunter, Rob Schremp, and we'd just be tic-tac-toeing, just one-timers and blowing them by the goalie. We were I knew going into most games playing in London that, hey, I'm gonna have about a 4-point night here, and it was pretty funny, but once I got up to the pro, once I got in the AHL my first year, I was like, whoa, fuck, I'm this is a little tougher. This is a little harder. These guys are men. And I came in, I was still $150, $160. I was still small. I was trying to put on weight.
Wiry though, Bolly.
Totally.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, so once I got up the A and went up to the NHL, I kind of got into it. I kind of had to replay the role. I knew I wasn't going to be that 50 goal scorer, 100-point goal scorer, or if I was, it was going to take longer for me to get to the NHL, and I was sick of fucking riding the bus. I did not want to ride the bus. Like,
hey, the wine doesn't taste as good on the bus, eh, Bolly, as it does in that private bird.
No. And when that lady's coming down with a tray of ice cream, and chocolate milk, and cookies, it's a lot better than put your money in the little hat fucking at the start of the game. Make sure you put your meal in. I was like,
oh, that was the worst part, Bolly.
It was always short too.
It was always short in America.
Oh, every short.
Who didn't pay for their fucking meal?
Wait, you would have to put
Jimmy Hayes was always that guy.
So what happened? They would pass around a hat and you put like money in for the meals?
Bolly, explain to the cons what you have to do in the jungle.
So in the jungle, so before the game, they give you a little menu. So it's a little menu, and it's like Bob's Pizzeria, or like something. And you had to mark down what you wanted and throw your exact change in there. And every time they'd be
You had to pay for it?
Okay,
oh yeah,
guys,
you have to pay for it.
$20 per diem, fucking compared to the 100 in the NHL.
Oh yeah. So like we had to. So every time it'd be like, okay, guys, we're $60 short. Who didn't put the fucking money in?
It'd be one of the Russian kids.
One of the Russian
By the
guys.
way, it's
Hey, we're not taking rubles here.
It's always going to be the usual suspects. It's one or two guys that are always guilty of that.
You're like, Smirnoff, we're not taking rubles. Put the dollars in, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, Bolly, you're better at being a national leaguer. I would agree with that.
Bolly, one last thing. We're gonna turn it over to our days in Florida and all the fun we had. This is just, I got to ask this question. We got some Vic. What was it like? I know you still battle on Twitter with the Canucks fans. I jump in there with you. Everyone knows we're buddies now.
Yeah.
But what was it like for you? Because I remember one night coming out of the bar, and it wasn't the Roxy actually, but me and Big Buff were leaving the bar together, Bolly. This is during the second year, so we already had our playoff battle. And the fans in Vancouver were like, no, Obi, not Bufflin. Are you fucking kidding me with Buff? I'm like, he's actually a pretty good guy. So what was it like for you in Vancouver?
No, it was like whenever we came in, the fans were great. But I remember that one time, remember when I chirped the Sedin twins on that TSN?
I sure do.
So, So what we would do in Chicago, we used to go out to these bars, and I'd be in front of like fans. It wouldn't be on radio, it wouldn't be live, and they'd be like, "Oh, what'd you think about the Sedin twins?" I'd be like, "Fuck them." I'd be like, "Blah blah blah," like chirping them because the fans love it. The Chicago fans are crazy. They want to hear all that shit. So
some of the best in hockey.
Oh yeah. So like we'd chirp. So this one time we had it was me and Crow, and we were at I forget what restaurant downtown, but I totally zoned out, forgot it was on air, and went blabbermouth. And then I was the next time we came to Vancouver, we always had a security guy with us. He's like, just stay in tonight because I don't think there's some happy fans. There was fans throwing rocks at me. Oh yeah.
Bolly was the most hated guy in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
fucking, that's awesome.
Hated.
But hey, I'm like, I didn't know Boy then,
deserved.
but I'm like, fuck, I hope Bolly's not going out for dinner tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, it could be dangerous in Canada.
And then I'm like, maybe someone clips him so the Twins don't have to put up with him tomorrow night. Might get a W here.
Holy, that had to have been where the nickname the Rat came about, huh?
Oh yeah. The Rat came around there, but around the same time. But that happened with Joe, Big Jumbo, with Laddie. I was getting under Jumbo's skin there for a bit, and I remember he almost broke my finger I broke my arm the one game with the slash at the draw. But one of the reporters came along and it was like what's Bolly's nickname? And Laddie's like, I think he's just like a rat. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, don't call me the Rat. I'm like, even worse. I'm like, this could not be the best nickname to have. But
You deserve a better nickname, bro.
Yeah.
I like to call you Daddy Bolly.
Hey.
There's certain guys in the league Jimmy calls Daddy. Bolly, you're one of them for sure. Hey, I want to say something. That there's always goals like you remember watching. You kind of know where you are, like the Joe Carter fucking home run with the Jays. Like I was on the fucking bus from Pee Wee
You'll never hit a
hockey.
bigger one, Joe. Yep.
But Bolly, I'm in this fucking yoga retreat with Lululemon in Park City with all these fucking smoking hot babes. A lot of athletes that were going to the Sochi Olympics, and I'm just sitting in there fucking half chubbing it, whatever, getting ready to do fucking downward dog and all this good stuff. And so
That is a W?
No, no,
Scottsdale?
no. I did that one trip.
He did that once.
That was my thing. I used to sneak off and do some yoga classes on the road. No big deal.
Veteran.
And no, so Bolly, I'm sitting there at a dinner with all these babes, and I got the fucking game on like in the corner, and I see you score that goal in Boston and fucking rip your gloves off. And I'm just like, fucking motherfuckers are winning the cup again. This Dave Bolland just.
What was it? What was the goal? What happened?
Bolly, tell us about this night. Fuck you. I know you've said it before.
So we were down 2-1. I think there was like 2.5 minutes left in the game. And we're like, fuck, okay, whatever.
Game what?
Game six, right, Bolly?
Game six, yeah. In Boston. We're kind of like, fuck, like, whatever. We lose this game, we'll go back home and we can win it in front of our home fans. We won it in Philadelphia. So it'd be nice to win it at home. So we're kind of just pondering, but
either way, either way, we'll win this. We want to win it here at home.
Ponder.
Yeah. We'll just win it at home. But we so Bix, Taser, I forget who else, Hanzus or someone that's on the ice, score at like a minute 30, a minute 50, something like that. So we're like, okay, fuck, we're back in this. Like this is
tie game.
This is good. We're tie game. Okay, we can win this in overtime. So he was like, Krejci goes on. I think Marchand, their top line. So they throw me out, me, Kruger, and Frolik, and they throw us out there. And we're like, okay, just don't get scored on. Let's just keep us in this game. So chip it in. Puck goes. It's me and Kruger. I throw it out wide to my right side to Kruger. I drive the net. So I get in front. Puck goes all the way around to Oduya. I was kind of behind the net. I was like, fuck, maybe I should get in front. So I just kind of sneak in front of Boychuk, snuck in front there, literally like the perfect position, hit the post. Normally when it hits the post, like that fucking puck goes everywhere. You don't know
over
where
the glass, in the corner.
For us, it went over my stick for sure.
It stops right in front for me. I'm like, fuck, tap it in. Boychuk comes down on my arms. I'm like, fuck it. Boom, I let the gloves go. I'm like, this is over. I'm like, it's done anyway. Everybody's like, what the? Yeah. So like, I was just like, I was just out in the middle of left field, but gloves off and fucking, we won the Stanley Cup.
I'll tell you about that goal, boy. I think I texted you when COVID first hit, and I was watching NHL Network, and they kept showing that goal over and over again. I'm like, Bolly, you should tune in on NHL Network if you're bored here, because they showed your goal the last 3 fucking days.
If you want to know what it's like for Uppy with a full chub all the time, just watch your goal played on NHL Network over and over and over.
Bolly, I remember sitting in the suite with all the front office because that was the year I was Black Acing, and you guys had a chance to clinch the cup, so I got to fly home. And you're down 1-0 with like a minute 50 left. I'm kind of like, all right, fucking right. So I'm kind of fired up a little bit. And then you guys tie the game. Then you score. I'm really happy for you. But I was even more bullshit because I had tickets sold because Black Ace and I got 2 tickets every game. I had them sold for $1,500 each. I used to meet the guy right out front, get cash, bring it to Paris Club, and have a night. So you cost me a fucking night in Chicago scoring that goal.
I'll transfer you at $3,000.
All right, I'll take it, buddy.
By the way, how much were your tickets going for in Chicago that year? It had to have been outrageous.
It depended upon the round. I wasn't supposed to be selling them, but nobody was coming. So when the first round, I was getting $750 a pop because they're always lower bowl. And then the round kept going on. I got 1,000, and then I had 1,200, and then this guy kept buying them every game. So I gave him a good deal, 1,500. I called my dad in Boston and was like, Dad, how much should I sell these for? He's like, Game 7, you can get at least $3,000. I was like, I fucked up. I only got $3,000 total. But Bolly, so I'm gonna give you my Venmo after this, and you can send me some cash.
I got an extra laying around.
Yeah, you do. Thanks to Dale Talon, you got a few laying around, don't you, Bolly?
Oh, that's the original daddy right there.
That's my daddy.
Hey, Bolly, before we dive into our time in Florida, when the Blues won the Stanley Cup last year, my boy O'Reilly, Collins always gives me a hard time. I bring him up every time.
A hard time. You love O'Reilly.
I love O'Reilly. He tells me they take the Stanley Cup away from him at midnight, and I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I'm like, they'd have to pry that out of my hands. And we did a little digging here at Mr. Curfew. Rumor has it.
Listen, I know the Cup guys. They were nice enough to bring the Cup down to my sports bar, Gold Sports Cafe. And I was talking to him about it, and he said that that first year that you guys won it, like, got a little dicey. And they had to look at the rule book to decide
rewrite the rule book.
They had to rewrite the rule book based
100%.
on you guys. But how bad could it have been? How bad could it have been? What were you guys doing?
It was your after party. Let's be honest. Your after party caused it.
Oh, probably it was my after party. That's when I got that was when his meat eats. We got the puck. We got the cup stuck inside between. Well, you've been in my house.
Yeah. Yep.
Up. So it's one of those row houses, but between my house and my neighbor's house, there's literally like not that much, and fucking he just goes over, boom, throws the cup, gets stuck in between the houses.
Wait a second. So it rolled off the roof and got stuck between two houses. The Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Yep.
we had a few glasses of wine and a few beers and a few little,
Yeah,
a little
a
bit of everything.
couple.
But he stepped over the fire and just chucked it, and it got stuck. So we had my buddy that was the cup, one of the cup guys. He was a family friend of ours, and he's like, don't worry about it. We can keep it a little bit later. Like, you guys are pretty good here. Didn't know that shit was gonna get crazy, but we had him by his feet, hanging down from my top floor. That's like 60 feet, and we're like, fuck, if we drop this guy, he's dead. Like, he's gonna get this cup.
He might be saved by his white gloves, though. He might
By the
just
way,
land right on the white gloves.
In his defense, I pressed him hard for details, and he wouldn't give up any.
Yeah.
Other than that, you guys really pushed the boundaries with the cup.
Yeah, so-
We did.
Boy, I'm just curious. So what time would they take it from you back in the day like that? Like,
O'Brien is devastated at the
I mean,
rumor that they
fuck,
take the
like,
cup
they
away
take
at
the
12
cup-
o'clock.
What time did they take it from you boys, Bully?
Like same, like they took it. It was the curfew was still in at 12. Like we still had that. Like it was. But they were telling us stories about like way back when guys were like at like
Gretzky and the
Penguins.
boys.
I think the Penguins. Oh yeah. Well, my good buddy here is Dylan Hunter. So his uncle Dave Hunter that played with the Oilers back in the 80s. There,
Legend.
he said
Good
one
player.
night they went out. Yeah, he said he said one time they went out. The cup went missing. They couldn't find it for like a week. For a week.
And
We're
that's
like,
in
fuck, I
Edmonton.
think we
Where the
had
fuck
to-
could it
oh,
be?
yeah.
It's at West
All right,
Edmonton
that's what I
Mall. It's
said.
so
Like,
fucking
It's tough
big.
to move that on the
That's
black
the
market.
Marriott.
It was in Craig Lupel's basement for a week, wasn't it? Loops' old man stole
Actually,
it.
it's at Cactus Club. All those fucking hot babes got it in the kitchen.
Or Joey Tomato. Was it Joey Tomatoes?
Joey's, yeah.
Joey's a nice spot too, Bully.
It's in the Roxy. Has the cup ever been in the Roxy? Even though the Canucks have never won, has it ever made it to the Roxy? The cup.
Fuck.
Did
Did
Boston
Luch take
win?
it there?
Did
Luch is a
Boston win
beast.
it in van or in?
They did win it in van. Game
So then,
7. Thank
yeah,
God.
yeah.
I was at Goal Sports Cafe with Cons, watching the Game 7, being like, please God, Vancouver not win this fucking Stanley Cup the year after I got traded. So
Even
they
the
did win.
Stanley Cups got laid in the Roxy.
Even the Stanley Cup.
It's that fucking easy to
Oh,
get laid
yeah.
in there. Even the Cups got laid.
So let's dive into time in Florida. You boys, I was only there for a cup of coffee, but what a fucking cup it was, eh, Bully? It was filled with a few other things in
It was
coffee.
a latte.
But let's dive into that.
Oh,
Yeah, Bolly. It was. I remember signing when Dale signed you up. It was. I was part of Dale's movement to bring a bunch of new guys in. He had to turn things around. It was an organization in dire need of a playoff contention. You know, just turning things around. Dale did it in Chicago with you guys, right? He was
Yeah,
part of it
100%.
until he mistakenly forgot to sign 4 or 5 free agents that one year. I know
Yeah,
Eames was
you
one of
guys.
them. Were you?
no,
No,
I got my deal done. Daddy took care of me.
Dale's on the golf course being like, fuck, there was something I was supposed to do today. What was it?
Totally. Whoops. Dale, you just won the cup here, but we
You got to resign these guys, Dale.
You're going
Uh-oh.
to Florida. Don't worry. You'll enjoy Florida. So anyway, Bolly, bringing you in, the first thing I noticed was you obviously heard about you, beauty, off ice, on ice, how you play.
Yeah, Loops told us that this guy's a
we
beauty.
needed a guy like you. In fact, we all knew you were coming. Dale pretty much told us about midway through the previous year. Hey, we're bringing in Bolly. We need some fucking fuck you on our team. But I first noticed, buddy, first at the rink every fucking day, which is to young kids, like show up early. Fucking Dave Bolland did it, 2 cups. But you love the game so much. It was part of it, and that transferred into being a good team guy, rookie parties, all that good stuff. So, Hazy, what'd you learn from Bolly?
A lot
How
of
to
good
miss
stories.
curfew, eh, Hazy? How to miss curfew.
How to miss curfew. That's where I was gonna lead into that. I was gonna ask Bolly. I wanted to know, what did Dale Town say to you the next morning after we took that flight from Washington to Vancouver?
Oh
We had
boy,
a good
I
time
remember
on
that.
that
Oh.
flight. We had a really good time.
So you guys, so I remember sitting there.
Let's
and
tell
I
this.
think
Let's
we had- we
start
had-
the
Tell the
story.
story,
off.
lead up the
Obi was
story.
on the flight too.
I-
This could be the most legendary flight cross country in the history of a regular season.
Oh,
fucking-
But set it up. Give us a little backstory.
So
You win?
we start on the East Coast, but we're heading west. So I get called up. We play in Washington. Fuck, we beat Washington.
It was a back-to-back. We played in Florida, flew to Washington.
Okay.
We play Washington the next night. Picture that. So everyone's just like, fuck. So we play an after.
Not everyone.
It was a 4 p.m. game in Wash. So we finished, let's say it's 7:30. Well, it's only fucking, it's only
4:30
back in van.
Yeah,
and
4:30.
it's a 5-hour flight.
6 hours.
Into the wind.
Into the wind.
And
Headwinds.
So we fly cross country. We land in van at about 12:30.
Yeah.
And just so Obi, take it over.
No,
'cause the
that's
flight was fucking
a
great.
great way to. It's probably the favorite flight I've ever had in the NHL. We just sat around, we played cards. The red wine was flowing. We would go up talk to Frosty and Moods. So we land in fucking Vancouver, and Bolly, you could take it from here if you'd like.
We landed in Vancouver, and we were having a good time. We were playing cards, like you said. The red wine was flowing, and I had a few too many, and we stumble off the plane, get on the bus, and we're going by. Everybody's in a good mood, and we're going by a Wendy's. And I'm like, Dale, stop off and let's get some spicy chickens for the fellas.
Some Frosties for the boys.
I'm like, some Frosties, come on. And we were giggling, laughing, and
Bully, then you throw this one out there. You started chirping Soupy.
Soupy goes.
Brian
Soupy,
Campbell, you started chirping Soupy. He's like, Bully, just shut up. And you're like, fuck you,
fuck
Soupy.
you, Soupy. I'm here for 5 years,
I'm
6
here
years.
for 5 more years. And then you're like, hey, boys, let me guess where we're staying tonight. Another fucking Westin.
So
let's be honest. The Westins, call it what they are. They fucking stink. The one in Vancouver stinks. You can stay at the Pan Pacific.
Yeah.
You can stay at fucking
Pacific Rim.
Or, that's
Or
And
is that what it's
certain
called?
teams stay at better hotels like
Fuck
the
yeah.
Rangers, right?
Oh yeah, I stay at the Ritz.
Right.
Oh yeah, like when we were in Chicago, we had, and same with the Leafs. Like I went from Chicago to the Leafs, and we'd stay at the Ritz, the Peninsulas, the Shangs, all
National
the
League
high-end
hotels.
ones, and then
National League.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And Florida was like, where are we going? Oh, we're staying at the Westin. I'm like, holy fuck, the Westin. I'm like, here we go again. And where do we go, Vancouver? The Westin.
Hey, so
It was fucking legendary.
We get to the hotel though, and sure enough, I had a babe come over. She was wearing she was wearing a raincoat with just lingerie underneath it. I remember that.
Nice.
It's always raining in
Bully,
van.
I get in there though, and my cell phone's ringing. Bully. I'm like, fuck, Bully. I wish I could answer this, but I got company. And and it's 1:30 or it's 1:15. I don't know how much trouble we can get in, whatever, but. And we're already just shit-faced, right? So,
pinned.
So, Bully, all of a sudden, my hotel room rings.
My hotel phone rang too. I was gonna say, Bully called my hotel room.
I don't know who calls hotel rooms nowadays.
Bully's like,
Bully
we're going
was.
out over. So I'm like,
So, Bully, take it from there. Bully, you went out you hit up the fucking church, baby.
Yeah, you went to the Roxy that night, didn't you?
Oh, buddy, I hit up everything, and I think it was just by myself. I went to I hit every place, even like Vancouver. I love Vancouver. It's a great place, great bars, great everything. But when I would get in there, I was like, Vancouver is the best place. And you go to the Roxy, you go to that, what's that street?
Yelltown.
The Roxy's on?
Oh, that's on, fuck, I should know this. Is it Burrard Street?
Granville.
Granville.
Oh,
wow.
Is it Granville? Yeah, Granville. Yeah, wow, Kev.
Fucking A, Collins.
Ryan Leaf.
But hey, oh yeah.
Hey, shout out.
But hey,
bring him in.
That was I went out that night. I hit it up every place. I don't think I got into 3:30. I don't know where I ended up. I forget, but I hit up every place.
I love we wake up in the morning and I text Bolly. I said, "How was your night?" Because I didn't go out for whatever reason. I don't know. I was just
What was the reason? What do you mean you didn't go out? You just said,
know.
I'm going to sit this one out.
I had one of my old bullpen regulars in van that I hit up.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So I meet Bolly in the morning for a coffee and we sit down and Bolly goes, I can see Bolly had talked to Dale that Bolly was a little upset about it. And he said, was it that bad? I said, Bully, if you ask me, I thought it was fucking legendary, but I might not be the right guy to ask. I thought it was fucking great, but you might want to go ask Jussi Jokinen or something because I thought it was fucking great.
I got to be honest. I had a meeting with Dale we had a day off the next day, and I come down in the hotel lobby, and Dale was sitting right next to the front desk, and he was sitting there, and he always had that kind of upset feeling, look on his face, a little bit Dale was always in a good mood. It was the same way he acted when he fucking heard we were out till 4 a.m. in Montreal.
Yeah, I want to ask Bully about that too.
So
remember that one?
Yeah, we'll get to that, Bully.
But so he grabs me and he's like, "What the fuck happened on the flight?" And I'm like, well, what do you mean?
Altitude,
5-hour
it's
flight.
altitude,
It was a
yeah.
5-hour flight.
He's like, I
had
won
some
five-
wine.
Drink
He's
is
like,
2 drinks.
he's
Up,
like,
he's like, I won
yeah,
$5
but-
grand.
But my boy Bolly, and he treated you like a son too. And Dave, he really, he treated us all like sons. He
Not
ultimately
me. Not me.
Not
I
you.
know
Not you, Ups.
I love Dale.
But
Yeah.
but basically he's like, I need you all to be together, and like if someone's getting a little too fucked up, like I need you to handle it. And I'm like, there was no handling this. There was no handling this.
No, Dale, like you said, Dale treated me like a son. Like I had him all the way through. He was great to me. And like I remember I came downstairs that next morning and Dale texted me. He's like, "Hey, come meet me for breakfast." And I'm like, "Fuck."
It's just like
Like,
disappointing
here
your
we-
dad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. Like,
No harm, no
we're
foul.
Not perfect. No.
No, you're not.
Having a few drinks.
You're not perfect.
No,
none,
we're just-
none of you guys are
We're,
perfect.
yeah. Two cups.
2 cups.
But no, Dale, like you said, like, so I came downstairs and Dale's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Fuck, Dale, I'm going through my divorce. I'm going through things. And hey, I got a little loose on the plane with the fellas. I had a little bit too much to drink. That was my fault. Like, hey, I was the one. I was like that was my fault. I had too much." And hey, he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Don't be good. Don't get a little carried away. Just take care of yourself."
And Bolly, I will say this, and I was only part of the team for a month, and when the hardest part when they sent me down after training camp was I knew what you guys had there, and the only thing I disagreed with was Dale was when he would point the finger on guys that would go out and have a good time, and you guys, and we had just won 2 games. We went through Western Canada, had won. He did the same thing through Montreal and Toronto. You brought these guys in here for a reason. You know, Bolly fucking likes it, and he has a good time, but when a push comes to shove and the fucking puck drops, you want Bolland on your fucking team. And when Dale started doing that, when I was up, I didn't understand that. You bring these character guys in, and what that Florida Panther team had, and you guys know more than me, sorry, is it was a family feel in there. The boys got along. Everyone generally liked everyone, and that's what I didn't understand about Dale. Go ahead, Broadway.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Bolly and Uppy stressed. When you were going to go out with the boys at the night, you had to get up with the men in the morning, and those guys were always the first 2 at the rink. And even those practices when you're a little hungover, you obviously probably don't want to be there. Those are the days that you guys taught me. You got to be the best on those types of days so that you can't ruin these type of fun nights that we like to have.
So Bolly, you know what I enjoyed when I had to sit down with Dale right after was I was like, you know what, Dale, we'll talk to him. And we'll sort it all out today because our rookie party's tomorrow. Hey, listen, we'll get him in line. We'll have a good day today.
Bolly's gonna have a spawn day today. We're gonna rock and roll
Tough
more.
practice. Tough practice. Practice hard.
But tomorrow we really got to ramp shit up professionally here because we got our rookie party.
When we were in Chicago, when I played in Chicago, hey, every Broadway knows this, and every Sunday we'd have an afternoon game. Monday was off, and Sundays were the nights to go. Like our whole guys, the whole team would go to the Pony, we go to the bar, and we'd have a great time together. Like, and everybody would be there, and that's how you bond as a team.
Yep.
And you want to go to war with these guys. Like if I know if I'm having a few drinks with this guy and you're having a good time, and like, hey, I'm gonna lay in front of this puck for you. I'm gonna do this for you, and that was the thing that in Chicago that was great. And even when I was in London Knights, like that, like bonding with your team and having that kind of team camaraderie was the best.
And that's what Florida had. And every time I came up, I cherished it because I knew I was near the end. And I love Gerard Gallant. He's a great coach. I know you guys all love him. I was like I'm like, Dale, if you want to keep these in, tell Gerard to make these practices a little bit fucking harder. And it was 30 minutes of swing drills. I'm like, I could have stayed out till 5. Hey, Bolly? I didn't do one battle drill. I'm like, fuck, I could have stayed out till 5, Bolly.
It was the same thing. It was the same thing in Chicago with Quinville. They're just absolute player coaches. I remember that Sunday we went to the Pony. We had the national championship Kentucky, and we all got shit faced. Then we get to the rink the next day. It's an optional skate for every single guy but the 5 rookies. So I had to go out there and fucking let my bag off. Anxiety. I tried to tell them I had a rash, and they just knew I was hungover as fuck.
A rash. I would never go with that because they know it's true.
An optional skate means that if you're basically not a superstar, you got to skate, right? It's not really optional.
Yeah, I mean, well, it just depends.
No, they used to call them the Scotty optionals because I was always bending the rules on a nice optional.
Did Sidney Crosby participate in the?
I mean, he probably does, but there was a lot of hard things about getting sent down and getting called back up. But when I finally came back up with Florida, the hardest thing was having to go out for those optionals.
Well, yeah.
Because I was like,
I mean,
I
it
had
makes
10 years in the
sense.
league. I'm like, Bully's not skating. Uppy's doing his hair.
This is
Fuck,
bullshit.
I want to hang out with the boys.
These
I
guys
was out
are all
there with
skipping
you.
the optional skate. I got to do this. This is ridiculous.
I'm like, fuck, these are my buddies.
He's got the keels. He's got the keels
Oh,
on,
yeah.
doing his face
Got a face
massages.
cream, boy. That Canadian winter air is dry up there.
Yeah.
So, Bully, listen, buddy, we want you back, but we got to wrap up here. But what's going on with you now, buddy? I know, are you back in London? What's going on with what you're doing right now, buddy?
No, I'm back in London right now, just hanging out. We're just I help out with the London Knights once in a while. We had something going on with Chicago. Like I go down there once in a while to do events with them and stay in contact with them. But with the COVID and everything going on here and the border being closed, that kind of got shut down. So right now it's just a waiting time and hoping this COVID passes here soon so we can all see hockey come back and get back to work.
Bully, are you still getting paid by chance? I was curious that the other day. Are you still getting paid?
I wish. It was nice sitting on the golf course in Florida, not getting paid. Oh, paycheck came in $250. I'm like, what else? What else can I do?
I said, boy, everyone's like, how's retirement? I said, fuck, it's not bad. If I was still getting paid, it'd be the best thing in the world.
Hey, yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, well, I'll tell you what's wrong with not getting paid in a situation like this is how your body is leaving the game, and how is your body? Because you were hurt for most of your career at the latter half of it. Like, how is it now? I know from my experience, I was hurt a ton, dealt with a lot of injuries. Leaving the game is one of the trickier parts. You want to still like take care of your body like you did when you played, because you want to feel good moving forward. You want to be able to golf. You want to be able to run with your kids. You want to be able to fucking keep up to O'Brien on the track. But
That's not hard.
Bully, how is
Just
it?
meet me at the drink cart, Bully.
How is your body feeling?
That's right.
And be honest, because it sucks leaving the game when we beat ourselves up.
It does suck. And like when I had to leave, it sucked. Like when I had to like on that half the season when you guys going on that playoff run, dude, like you guys know how I felt winning 2 cups. Hey, I want to win. I love winning. And leaving and being done hockey, my ankle and my back are the biggest issues. My back, I need to have surgery here soon. So I've got to, like, my day comes on, like, I got to go see my therapist. I got to stay on top of things. Because if I don't, dude, I'll be walking in circles and I won't be able to swing the club at Whisper Rock. So, and I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, you do it.
Like, it's tough. And like my ankle, I cut that, my perineal tendon, I cut that in Toronto. And like I'm gonna have to have surgery on that as well. There's a few things that I'm gonna have to do to keep up with it, and so that I live a good life and live a healthy life. But yeah, it's tough. It's your body. Like you guys know, your body takes a big bang, and those are some hard years playing.
Broadway, what do you got for Bully? Finish this off.
No, I just said it was always a fun time being able to play with a guy like you and being a veteran. And I learned how to take care of younger guys as my career went on, because you were so generous to me. So it was always fun to learn how to be a national leaguer with Bolly.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks. Hey, fellas. Hey, this is being on here with you guys and seeing you guys again is great. Like I cherished every moment with you, Broadway, with Uppy and Obi. Like seeing what you guys are doing here is unbelievable, and I love what you guys are doing, and so it's great. Whenever you guys need me again, I'm here for you. You know that.
Yeah, Bully, we respect you, and we all love playing with you. And like you said, once COVID gets straightened out here, hopefully we can get you out here. We'll meet you at Riverwalk anytime you want, fella.
Anytime.
Connolly's a big golfer now, so we got to save a spot for Cons.
I've been hearing some of the stories that Cons he gets out there before coming into the building there.
They
he's,
4
make-
a.m. guy.
they
He's
make
like
fun of
Kobe.
me.
He's like
They-
Kobe.
They make fun of me. They score shame me, and they post my scores on the internet, which is a cheap shot.
Someone did. We don't know who.
Don't worry about post. Hey, get those scores in, because I was down to a 5-9 and I was giving money out left, right, and center. I want to get back up to a good 10 or 11.
I hear you, Bully.
That's where I'm at, buddy.
O'Brien's the only guy I know that's trying to raise his handicap.
Bully, I'm a reverse sandbagger, Bully. I was down to a 6. I was a human ATM machine, and listen, I don't have the funds to do it right now. Like I'm back up to a 7. I need to be an 8, Bully.
A steady 8.
Just have me as your partner, Obi.
that's-
I got you.
Right? Like I like being around at 10. Like I go down to Whisper Rock and I'm playing against guys like Graham Gillette and Phil's there and all these guys for members, and I'm like, I'm never gonna win this thing.
Unless you get him drunk out there, Bully. I like your chances. I love Graham Gillette, though. He can handle his booze. We party with Matt Gauzer, so
I met him once or twice there, so he's a great guy, and he's a member there. He's a great person.
For the listeners, Whisper Rock, BOLLY, when I played in Phoenix, it was an absolute treat. Anytime you got to go out there. So Gretz is a member there. Phil built the north side, right? The upper.
Yeah, he built the lower.
Okay, so and the lower course, I'm talking as tight as can be. So Phil, of course, flop shots everywhere. And the picture in the clubhouse of Phil getting his first Masters jacket from Tiger, and it says Tiger. Yeah. The jacket fits well, thanks. It was just like at the time it was a shot against Tiger. At the time they battled so much. Yeah. But the course is badass. Do you have a bobblehead in there yet?
Here?
No, not in there. I know you got bobbleheads.
No.
At Whisper Rock. I got a bobblehead at Whisper Rock. That's my fucking claim to fame. I've got a bobblehead in there. You fucking right, I do.
He's got 2 cups. Like, you got a bobblehead.
So the clubhouse attendant, Mike, he was the old guy.
Yes.
Mike, right?
Yeah, so he's done now.
He's done, but he collected bobbleheads, and he had a sick fucking stack of them in the men's room. And fucking, of course, he's like, "You got a bobblehead?" And I said, "Yeah, I might have one. It's from the miners, but no big deal." I fucking said the up dog with the good flow flowing. It was a sick one.
Milwaukee Admiral bobblehead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
BOLLY, we love you, buddy.
Once it's all done, I'll take you all out to Whisper. We'll have a night. We'll be missing Curfew for sure.
Yeah, let's do this again, BOLLY. Take care of that back. We love you. You're a legend. I loved battling against you. And let's do this again real soon, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, BOLLY.
Thanks, BOLLY.
Anytime, fellas. Anything for you guys. I'm always available.
Thanks, bud. Another great episode here at Missin Curfew, Action Park Studio. Upbeat BOLLY. What can you say about him? 2 cups. Battled against that guy a lot. Was lucky to play for him once. So thanks to him. Upbeat, another great show. That's what Missin Curfew's all about.
Good stuff, fellas.